live.
Okay. It says live. It says live.
I hit the button before I meant to. Hi, everybody. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to tonight's live. We're going to give it just a hot second here to flip on so that we can see ourselves and make sure that we are in frame. There we go. Oh, yeah. There. I did. I accidentally hit the button like a second too soon. Hi, welcome to the April. I got to kick a cat off my desk, but he'll be back. Don't you worry. The April.
There's going to be some cats in this live today.
They're like, oh, it's our moment. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the April Scrappy Sisters Scraplift Challenge. You guys, tonight we are going to be, and by we, if you're new around here, Caitlin, who is my sister-in-law, and I are going to be scrap lifting a layout from Jill, who is part of our Patreon community. So Jill did a layout with, I feel like it was just kind of a roundup of supplies. Like the titles, I can't even remember where those titles were from. They were like currently titles like reading, watching, loving, and I think they were felt, if I remember right. And then she also had some circle elements that were in the middle of 4 pictures. And so that is what Caitlin and I decided to go ahead and scrap lift this time. It's a layout that isn't overly complicated, and that's actually really nice to do something that feels simple, but still tells a dynamic story. So I actually don't even have anything on my desk right now. I got to pull it all out. I don't know what I was doing.
Well, you had to catch.
I was saying, Caitlin, if you want to say hi, you can say hi. And then okay. I'm going to grab my stuff and then we'll flip our cameras and we'll get started actually making things.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here. I'm really excited to work on Jill's layout today. It's funny, me and Crystal will talk about like, what do we want to do? And she sent me a picture of a bunch of different layouts. And Jill stood out to me because I loved how the one side was simple. One side had all the pictures. I love pictures. I have to add so many pictures. So also I have an album for my 2-year-old Mabel. And so I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. You know, that's definitely what her layout was for. And it's definitely what I'm using mine for. So just being in the moment. I didn't actually have any of like anything that said like watching, you know, I did, but it was like 12-point font. So I actually did most of mine digitally because I wanted that same look. I found a way to add another picture. So I'm really excited to do this, and I'm really happy to have this. So thank you, Jill, if you watch this, because this is like the perfect layout for my album for Mabel. So it's really nice to have this as a currently story. So thank you. I'm excited to work on this.
Yes, me too. And with that, let's go ahead. We'll change over to our desk view and then show you guys what we got done, what we got planned, what we still need to do, and then we'll get it done. I'm going to warn you that my layout's probably going to take me 10 minutes. And then after that, I have some stamping that I want to get done in preparation for Thursday's live on the Allie Edwards Designing Craft the Story Facebook page. So I'm going to spend the rest of the time probably just sitting, chatting, and stamping and fussy cutting. Because this one, it's going to be super quick and easy. So just so you know, I just want to give you the heads up that like,
I'm in the same boat. I did most of mine digitally. So I honestly actually took some elements off when I was doing it digitally because I wanted I was like, I need something to do during the live. So
that's so funny. Okay, there we go. Straighten myself out here. All right. So, and I also want to plug this in just in case.
Yeah, mine is plugged in and I have a big cord, so it might fall. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so I'll start and I'll tell you guys a little bit about what I got here, what I got going on. So when I went into my stash, I went looking for the ing currently words, and I had an old chipboard set from a Day in the Life collection. I want to say this was the 2021 Day in the Life. I could be wrong. It could have also been the 2022. Actually, I think it was 2022, but it could have been, I don't know. It's one of them. But it's definitely Day in the Life. And there were, I want to say, 8 different half circles with the words. So you know what, let's actually, let there be light. So I pulled off 5 of them because that's all I could fit onto the design that I wanted. So the other 3 I just left to the side. Plus, this is going to be a story that will go into Izzy's album. And one of them said working. And while I could swing that and be like, Izzy's working on math homework, like that would work. That would actually work. But I was like, meh, I'll just save that and do some other story with it that maybe goes along with mine. So, what I did is I have my 5 blocks of journaling where I'm going to add the circle chipboard on the sides. So, they're going to go down. This is not the right order, I don't think, but they're going to go down the sides essentially like that. And then this is going to slip into a pocket. And then on the opposite side, I have a photo collage that I'm going to just add some stuff into the middle. And then that's my layout. Super simple. I also meant to add both of these. I have the journaling template and I have the photo template saved. I meant to add those into the post for today. I'll do that probably while we're live. I'll like jump over to my computer and throw those in for you guys in case you want to do something like this too. And then you can just have the photo templates and the journaling templates because why not? Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. That's where I pulled my stuff from. It's all day in the life.
All right. Actually, I might have some things to send you, Crystal, if anyone wanted to use them. So I did the photo pockets. I was like, this will be fast and easy. And then I just pretty much recreated this page, but I really wanted to add one more picture. I love this picture of her right now. So I was like, I'm going to figure out how to use it. And then I kind of created my own currently words. It's funny, when I was in the computer designing this, I had added more stuff. I was like, okay, I need to save some stuff for, some actual scrapbooking. But I do have these words. If anybody wanted to use those, Crystal, I could always send those to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to recreate how she did it because I loved the way those looked. I almost made them exactly the same. I decided not to. But it was fun still making this. And yeah, and really all I'm adding is I'm going to be adding something up here. I think I want it to say spring 2023. And then I'm going to add kind of the design elements in the middle like she did here. Really, I think most of the things I have is from the Remember Story Kit. And then I got like January 2023 Stories by the Month kit. So I did find I have these as well. But honestly, because my sizing is a lot smaller, I don't think I'm going to be able to use any of the asterisks. But I do have like tiny hearts, so I'm going to play around with it. Some of my stuff, so much of it is done with this that it might just be the adding the elements that takes a while. But yeah.
That picture is so cute.
I'm
really
obsessed.
like it.
She never looks and smiles. If she smiles, she's looking the other way or she's staring at you dead faced. So I'm just so happy. She's been doing really good. The last few days, or not last few days, but a few days ago, we went out a lot and she took so many good pictures. So I'm going to find a way to put all those in there. And these pictures here are really funny. There's her eating like a popsicle, her reading one of her big sister books, her sleeping. And like she likes to like lay in baskets. I don't know if anyone else's kids
Like laundry baskets?
yeah, like she makes like a little, like she'll put pillows in there, little blanket, she'll get her babies and she'll watch TV in a laundry basket. I was like, I need to throw this in here. I had another picture of her actually like with the TV screen. I was like, no, I need you to see that this is an actual laundry basket that she's hanging out in.
That's super funny. My kids don't lay in laundry baskets, but they used to when they were smaller, and they still try even now. And they're while they're big. We used to have these like cat condo type houses, so it's like a block that's soft, and there's a hole so the cats can go inside and feel confined and safe. And my kids used to just like turn them so that the hole was facing up, and then they'd sit inside of them.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, the cats are never going to use those because you've violated their space.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, I really kind of hope she decides to try it when she's older, so I can have a picture of her, like 2 separate pictures, one when she's little and one when she's really big. Like, I think that would be I love when people do that with their pictures. Even, like, if you've seen the pictures of cats of, like I got one of Dipper when he was a baby inside of one of his, like, favorite spots, and I have one of him now, and I'm like, I really need to, like, put those next to each other and compare them because I love when people do that. When they recreate a picture, but it's, like, a
Yes.
different, timing.
Or like it's 2 separate kids at the exact same moment doing the
Yes.
exact same thing.
Yes. I love it when they do it with the, like, I've seen pictures like that with the moms and stuff, but I definitely wanna do that with this, like, little basket picture.
That's so cute. So there we go. One side done.
You're gonna be even faster than me. I saved all the cutting for now. Brenda, thank you. It's funny, I had to, like, move the camera because for a while oh, there it is, my belly is just on the table. It's at that height. It's just on the table now.
Do you feel like you're popping out earlier with the second one?
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel huge. Haley is so tiny, and I mean, I definitely wasn't
It's her
tiny.
first one. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I wasn't tiny my first one. Like, I remember having friends like Jill, she was pregnant, but she for the longest time, you couldn't tell. I definitely was smaller my first pregnancy, but I was not a tiny pregnant person. Um, but, like, I feel like I'm as big as Haley is right now, and she's about to give birth. So, I can't believe I can't honestly can't believe how big I feel. Like, it's so much more than it was, the first time. But that's normal. That happens.
Yes. Yes, that's my point. Is that that's not uncommon.
No.
I don't remember with Jonah if I felt like I popped out more. I don't know. I definitely didn't look as deathly afterwards.
No. No. Well, you didn't have that you had the, oh, I cut these way too small on the top, that's all right. You had that issue where your throat had ulcers in it, right? And you couldn't even eat,
Yes.
like, it was so bad.
Yes. And the
So you
doctors
were
didn't believe
sickly.
me
Yeah.
too. Like that happened and I went to the doctors and they're like, "Go home. You have reflux."
Oh my god,
You
I
know?
just went through that with the prolapse. They didn't believe me, like,
Yeah.
at all.
You're like,
Even when
"No,
I went to the
something is
high-risk
wrong."
doctor. Yeah. Like, I know that this is not what my body should be doing. Like, I actually took pictures, which is it's, like, so gross, but it helped. It literally showed the doctor, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's exactly what that is. Thank you." Like, I know that. That's what I told you I thought it was. It's just super rare, so and same thing with you. I've never heard of that even happening to a non-pregnant person.
It was so weird. Yeah, so when I was pregnant with Izzy, my first, at about 8 months pregnant, I couldn't like my throat something was wrong with my throat and I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. It like caused me extreme pain to drink water. Like I remember sucking on ice cubes just so it would like slowly trickle down. Like it was horrible. And so I would go in and they're like, "Oh no, it's just reflux."
Ugh,
Whatever. It took me a
yeah.
couple times to go in. Um, and then they had to do like they had to scope my throat, like put it like almost like a camera down there so they could see what was happening. And
That
they're like,
sounds like a
"Oh,
nightmare.
well, you have like ulcers. Like it's like you have open sores in your throat." Which they blamed. And my mom and I are of the opinion that they're incorrect. Because they said that what it was I wasn't feeling well. Like I had some kind of cold, and you can't take medicine when you're sick. So I had taken Tylenol and then I went to bed. And they said that the Tylenol must have lodged in my throat and then like ate away at the lining of my throat. But we don't think that's really true because I mean, has anybody else ever heard of that before? Ever? I'm like, it just doesn't seem right. And also the fact that I was sick beforehand makes me feel like maybe it was something to do with whatever I had caught. And then that's just how it manifested itself. But anyways, I had to go in and get on IVs and fluids and the whole shebang, like right before, like a month before I gave birth. And the worst part about it is that here, for those of you who aren't in the US, here, your insurance, so like you have a deductible that you have to pay, and then it starts over in January. So I went into the hospital with my issues in like October, November. So I might have been more like 7 months pregnant, I guess. But October, November, I went in. My due date was December 30th. So I was like, I got to have this baby before January. Otherwise, we have to pay our deductible all over again. And sure enough, she came a week late. And so double whammied. And that was not fun. That was not fun at all. For the second baby, Jonah, we had different insurance. So I think Izzy cost us probably like $5,000 between when everything was said and done. Jonah cost us $200 because we had different insurance, and it was just a different time. But like, what a difference that makes, and how stupid that,
So stupid.
It's
so stupid.
So dumb. All right, I'm done. There it is. It's completed.
Wow, you weren't lying. I was like, mine's gonna be really fast. So yours is really fast.
So what I will say is the reason why I chose this particular layout is because I have a blank spot in her album. So this is Izzy's album. I still need to do a title page for her at some point. I have a title page for Jonah's for this year, and I want one for her too. So I need to do that. And then I've got this is the one we scrap lifted in January. And then I did a birthday layout for her, which turned out this is one, I love it. It's so cute. Cute. I have a blank spot here because I did a layout for my Studio Calico design team for the Traveler's Notebook, but I'm not documenting in Traveler's Notebook. So I just cut it out and I slipped it into pockets here. Right. And then the next one was another Studio Calico, but I used one paper from the Traveler's Notebook and then made my second page. And then I've got the story from March that I just did. What was that now? 2 weeks ago, I guess. So I have this blank spot that I'm like, I need to put something here. So this made sense. So I'm just going to slip this into this pocket. And then the other one will just clip into here, and I will adhere the 2 pages back to back. And then it fills that spot up. So then I've got, then it flows better. If you're curious, I can tell you all the things that I talked about here for my layout. So I did reading. Like I said, I only chose 5. So I did reading, watching, listening, eating, and loving. For reading, I went through, and this is documenting the month of February because this was, well, I guess technically this was January, but who's counting? But this is February. And this one is January. So I'm like, this is a February story. So I went through all of my pictures from February and all of my journaling that I've been doing over the course of the last, months, just to see what are some things that I talked about that I can relate to this layout for Izzy. So I had a picture of books that we checked out from our library that were Izzy's books that she checked out. So that allowed me to talk about some of the books that she was reading. For watching, Izzy and I watched the Darling Desi YouTube channel together. We call her our girl. So she'll be like, is there a new video from our girl yet? It's so cute.
That's so
yeah,
cute.
We love watching her. And she's the one that's like, she makes me think of like, I mean, her favorite books are the Jane Austen and the romantic, like old, and I don't know. I can't even explain it. You'd have to watch it to find out, but I love her, and Izzy does too. And that was really fun. For listening, I kind of went out on a ledge here and talked about swim lessons and Izzy listening to her teacher when swimming and learning how to swim. You guys, yesterday was their swim lessons, and Izzy put her face in and swam from platform to platform, which is huge. She refuses to put her face in. So I'm like, every time we go to lessons, I'm like, so are you gonna put your face in today? Because that'll make it really easy to swim. And she's always like, no, I'm not gonna put my face in. So then she did it, and we were all like super pumped for her yesterday. So anyway, that's listening. For eating, I had a random day where I took the kids to a local bakery and we just picked like a feast of desserts and brought them home and ate them for dinner. You know.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's
Is
probably
that
not the
when Aaron
healthiest.
wasn't there? Like, I
Yes.
remember you posting, like, this is what we do when Aaron's not here. But I'm like, those kids are gonna be like, Dad, when you leaving again?
I know. He left, and this was the same weekend where we like built. No, this wasn't our fort weekend, but like, yeah, I always do something crazy. Like, let's make our living room into a giant fort and hang out in it all weekend while he's gone. Or Daddy's gonna go have his game night, so we're gonna go to the bakery and we're having dessert for dinner. I
Oh
gotta
my god.
somehow weasel my way into being as favorited as he is, because
Yeah.
he's their favorite because he plays video games. Whatever.
Well, I think just by default, it tends to be the other person. Whoever it usually is not the mom. But it usually has to do with like who is gone the most or works.
Yes.
Like you were a stay-at-home mom for them for a while, so I think that
Right.
puts you in that category no matter what.
Mm-hmm. You're not
Alex
wrong.
and yeah, Alex and May were both sick last week, like really sick. And you know how people get when they're sick. Their patience is not
Yes.
there. So
It's long
both
gone.
of them, yeah, both of them had no patience for each other. So it was, oh my gosh, it was not a good week for me. I wasn't really sick, but tell you what, oh my gosh, it was like having the same person twice in my house that they were annoyed of each other the whole time.
That's funny. It's funny and it's not funny. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But also, it's also very funny to think about May being annoyed with her dad.
Yeah, like they just were fussy. That's all I could say. They're fussy with each other. Fussy pants, both of them.
To be like, listen, you both don't feel good. Chill out.
Yeah, like give each other some space and it's exhausting though. You know how it is. Like sometimes when kids are sick, they attach more to one parent. And so she was constantly, "Mommy, mommy," like nonstop. Um okay, I don't like that either. All right. The good news is I'm very indecisive, so this page might take the entire hour.
That's funny.
Me just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Thank you. Is it Nolana? Is that how you say that? Nolana. Thank you, Nolana. It's funny. I forget that I'm pregnant a lot. So when people say congratulations, I'm like, why? What did I do? I mean, I'm getting to a point where I can't forget. So there's that. Today, May was like sitting on me and the baby kicked so hard. I could feel it. Like it like hurt. And it pretty much kicked her right in the butt. And we giggled and I told her that. I was like, the baby just kicked you right in the butt, May. And she thought it was the funniest thing.
I'm quickly adding those templates in PS.
Okay.
Just so you know, I went quiet. That's why.
I'm trying to figure out how I can include this. It's so funny. Like I said, I made this digitally and I liked the digital version. I might go in there and just go back to that. Brenda May is so excited. I don't think she understands fully what's about to happen. We try to use examples. Like we try to say like, oh, Jonah and Izzy, like that Izzy is Jonah's big sister. That's what you're going to be. And we try really hard. She definitely has an idea that there's a baby in the belly. She's really cute. Sometimes she'll come up and like rub my belly and say cute things and be like, oh, baby, like, cute. She does that. But I think it's going to shock her when an actual baby is. Like, I don't think she understands any of that. So, like, right now it's cute because you're like, oh, she gets it, kind of. But no, I really think once there's a baby on the outside, she's going to be like, where did this thing come from?
It's going to be so entertaining for us. Maybe not for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. You know what though? It's so funny. I was telling Alex, it's like it's sad how excited I am right now, not to have another baby, but for May to have a sibling. Like
Yeah.
I feel bad, but I feel more excited about her and her interactions than I do for another child. I
Yeah.
know it will change once the baby's here. Like I love it. I know I will, but it's just,
I feel like that's not uncommon. Like it is. I remember being pregnant with Jonah, and for me, it kind of helped. So we found out that he was going to be a boy, right? Which I know you guys
Mhm.
have it, and you're not going to. For me, it kind of helped to be like,
Yeah.
okay, like because there is like a weird attachment thing. Like you're like, how can I possibly love something, love another child as much as I do my first? How can I? And you
Yes.
can't.
Yeah.
You can.
You can.
But
Yeah.
it is weird, like, until they're here and until they become this part, like, it's weird to think about life without Jonah. Like, we had 4 years without
Yeah.
him. You know,
Yeah.
what did we even do? You know, like, I don't even know.
I know.
I had stories, but they weren't like Jonah stories. You know?
It is
Uh,
crazy, even when I think about before May was born. Like, you really can't imagine a life with a kid, and then you have one, and then you get used to it, and you're like, okay, how was my life? Like, what was it like before?
how did we exist
Yeah.
before? Like, wow, we must have had just some real boring lives.
Like, what did we do? No, all the freedom and all that's I look back at that. I really do. All the freedom, going to the bathroom by myself.
Oh,
That's
right?
probably one thing I miss the most. Um, Lacey, oh, congratulations. Her
Yes.
niece Kennedy was born. And the nephew's gonna be like, what is that exactly? How old is your nephew? I know there's probably different reactions versus ages. I know we talked about this, but I really need tweezers.
You still don't have any?
I don't. And I remember last time we did this and we talked about this, and someone was like, just use regular tweezers. I'm like, that's great, I'll do that. And then of course, I don't even know where tweezers are right now, so I can't even run to go get them.
That's so
But
funny.
here I am, the tiniest of hearts. Bear with me, guys.
I gotta go get my cloth wet.
Oh,
Not very wet. So I gotta go do that. It's just the next door over though.
yeah, you're good.
Um, but what I'm doing, so this is gonna be for a layout I'm making on Thursday. One of the new, and luckily they announced it today too. So I think you can go on the Allie Edwards blog if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure you can, and that you can see all the stamps that are coming on Thursdays. They're doing a stamp release on Thursday,
oh,
a big one with a lot of new ones. And one of them is this really cute hand-drawn frames. I believe these are the same frames from the December Daily paper
they look
they
just
had.
like it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they are. So I'm going to do a layout with these that documents Easter. Just and it's going to be like I'm going to throw up frames all over a page. Is essentially what I'm going to do. But I need to stamp them and get them cut out. Because I'm doing like a whole sheet of these and then like basically like 2 sheets of this, and that would take me forever. Like I'm probably going to do this with you guys and then like go sit on the couch and watch a show and continue fussy cutting.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm going to do tonight because it's going to
Yeah.
take me a while, I think.
That's gonna be a lot of fussy. You love fussy cutting though.
I do. So yeah, I'm using this one, and then I don't know if this is a stamp that they brought back or if it's new. I don't know, but it says this word like photos. So I'm going to use like some of the stamps from here to create a title piece that'll go down the side. Um, and then the frames will fill the rest of it. So I just got to get these frames done. And I did already print out all my little photos that go inside of the frames, you know?
Oh,
So
perfect.
some of them will be photo backed, some of them will be paper backed and then have little embellishments in them. And I thought that would be cute. But it would take me, if I tried to do it all on Thursday, I would maybe get this one layout done. And that would be it. So when when I'm prepping for a live, I do a lot of this kind of stuff ahead of time. And then I'll be like, oh, I will stamp one frame and cut it out for anybody who doesn't know, that you can do that. There are people who come into scrapbooking, they're brand new at it and don't realize that, that that's an option. So
Yeah.
I try to still go from the mindset of maybe not everybody knows that this is a technique you can do, even if for me it's like it seems totally obvious. So I usually leave like one or two that I can do,
Yeah.
and everything else I have already done, because I want to be able to make more than one layout in a live, usually.
Yeah. I know they appreciate you showing them stuff too. I mean, I've learned a lot that way, so
Yeah, it's better to go back to the basics and like start from pretending that you know nothing.
yes.
Oh, I never even knew that said Insta this. That's cute. Like Insta this.
Oh, that is cute.
I like that. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go get this thing wet.
All right, you're good. Nolana, you said, oh no, sorry, Lacey. Oh, he's gonna be 3. Oh, that's funny. That will be May. May is 3 in September, a month after the baby is due. So that age gap is gonna be very similar. um, Nolana. Oh yeah, that's our favorite too.
How do you guys keep track of your photo date info? Julie. Oh, okay. Um, so my system has developed. I would say that I keep track of more now than I used to. um, for me, I've always been fairly consistent and up to date with my project life. So I'm going in every week and doing my journaling, at least once a week and getting my stories told. Now, between last year, I would say between like 2021 and 2022, I was less consistent. I have finished my 2021 project life, but a lot of that I did after the fact. And then 2022, I still have about 10 layouts that I need to get done, and then that one will be done. So back in the day, I would just do it every week, and like that would be that. Then I started the daily journal that you guys see every once in a while, where I've got like they're I would say that they are more art than they are words. And I actually am quite okay with that because the art part is like very therapeutic for me. Um, so, and the words just make it so that I have some kind of reason why I'm doing it. Not that you need a reason to create art, you don't. But for me, I like having that. So I usually in that daily journal, I just put in maybe a few things about the day, or it could be a couple of facts about here's what we did today. It could be, I guess maybe like the biggest thing of the day, whether it's something we did, something I felt, whatever. I also typically keep that a little more like PG. Um, or if I'm feeling particularly upset about something, I don't usually put that in great detail into that journal because I share it. So in January I let loose, and then I had to cover so much of it up in order to share it. So I was like, meh, I need a different alternative for this. So what I have been doing lately, I'll actually show you um, what it looks like. So I use a daily planner because I need to have details. I need to have details and a plan for how I'm going to approach my day. Otherwise, I don't know where it goes. So I've been using a daily planner since October or November of last year. And I use the ones from Passion Planner, which give you about 3 months per journal. I started with the actual journals in in January of this year. And then last year, you can get the layouts for these for free, like the downloads PDF version for free, and just print them yourselves to try it out, which I loved. So I was able to try it out for 3 months with my own printed booklets before I decided to invest and actually get one. So when I first started this, and this is like, apologies, I'm taking you down the planner route because I guess you whatever. Well, you asked for this. So,
We love it. This is who you are, Crystal. Don't be shy.
so here's my first one, right? At January, February, and March. And it took me a bit to figure out how I wanted to use them. So I used to, let me get a blank page so you can see where it starts and then it'll make more sense. So here is a blank page. I'll hold it maybe where it's a little easier to see, maybe. So you have like the time frame for the day, and then you have your personal to-do list, your work to-do list, this little like free space to grow, your game changer, which is kind of the same thing as like your top 3. Or sometimes I treat it as like my number 1, like my top 1. And then what are the 3 broken down tasks that I need to do to ensure that I get that one big thing done? And then there's self-maintenance. And then there's a little bit of reflection, like best thing that happened today, I learned today in 1 word, in my mood. And then over here, you have just blank space, so space of infinite possibility. So you just put anything there you want. When I first started, I used the space of infinite possibility to jot down like ideas. I used it as a brain dump, basically. Like, here's my brain dump. And then I've always filled this side in. So this side was, for me, what helped me stay on track, what kept me sane. And then this side, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. So I'm just gonna like jot stuff down. But what I found is a lot of days I didn't do anything. It's just kind of like blank. It's, not
Mine too.
serving
Yeah.
any purpose, whatever. And it just was a lot. So then starting about halfway into February, I was like, you know what? I have a ton of planner stickers that I've purchased and I haven't really liked them in my weekly planners. I haven't found that, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not really using them. They don't really serve a purpose except for decoration. And while I like decoration, these are meant to be very functional, this and my weekly ones. So I was like, why don't I use my stickers on the other side and use it as ways to journal, like journaling prompts, right? So here I was still kind of like lists, lots of lists. How can I divide out my lists? Still lists. And then eventually we get to like, oh, like I use this. True happiness blooms from the heart. And then I talked about like, something that was on my mind. And then I'm like, feel good goals. And I filled that out. My favorite people. And I filled that out. And then I've got a lot of it still ends up being lists, but eventually I get to the point where it becomes journaling. It's just like journaling. So my point to this is that I do a lot more journaling in here where I just like, it's a lot. This is where I can write down everything I feel like I'm going through. And then
I love that.
I can then use this to be like, okay, so out of all of that, where is the positivity? Where did I still feel like I had a win today, or something brought me joy today, or I don't know, something that's kind of like more feel good. And then I translate that into my actual daily journal. So my daily journal has become more about like, positive thinking about my life. And this is where I get to let it all out. The stuff, whether it's positive or not, it ends up in here. So like today, I already have my page set up. So then at the end of the day, I can fill in my different little prompts, and that becomes my thing. So like I've already got the other thing I do, and this is behind the scenes. I take notes on all of you during Monday coffee hour.
I love that.
So I
need to do that.
So I can remember the things that we talk about so that when I see you again, I remember to ask you things.
That's
which
so
I didn't
cute.
do yet for yesterday. I need to go back and not rewatch coffee hour, but usually if I go back and go in order of everyone who talks, I can remember what you're all doing, what's happening. But that helps me feel like I'm a better host for those things. Like
You do so good already, Crystal. You remember I am the worst. I will remember a face very well, but I won't remember the name. I have like general ideas. Like sometimes Crystal will talk about someone and be like, oh, is that the one that's this? Like I do remember some things, but I have a horrible memory. So Crystal, You already do so great with that. I love that you take notes too.
Yeah, it helps me. It just helps me to know that I'm like on top of it. Like I know these things. And also, as our coffee hours have grown and we have more people coming, which is such a great thing. And I'm just like, I want to make sure that everybody knows that like what's going on in your life is important. It's important enough to remember. And we're humans and our memory is not good. So for me, writing it down helps me to remember things. But that's that. So my long answer to your question is that the way that I have kept track of my stories and what's happening day to day has grown over time. And what I do could be excessive, for some, and that's totally fine. You don't have to do that. Um, you could just like jot a note down, or a lot of people do those 5-year journals, where it's you have for every day of the year, there's 5 lines. And so, like on January 1st, you fill out the first line for the first year. And then the next year, you go back and they're really cool. So you can see progression through time, but it's just a sentence to recap something from your day. Um, that could be an option for helping you jog your memory on things. I think a lot of times photos really help to jog memories, but they don't tell the whole story always. If you go 5 years from now, and am I going to remember what's happening on, you know, emotional levels? Yes, and also through rose-colored glasses, I'm sure. So it's like it depends what detail you want to remember things, and also what is feasible, what's realistic for
Yeah.
actually doing as a habit. And I will say that there are days that I miss. Like, for instance, I didn't journal Sunday night or Monday night. Today I went to the coffee shop because that's my Tuesday thing. And you know what I did? I did my journaling for Sunday night and I did it for Monday and just pretended like it's not Tuesday.
I
It's
love
fine.
that. That's
Like,
fine.
you can still go back and redo it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all fine. That was a long
Um,
rant, so I apologize.
well, no, that's the answer we all need. Like you're the planning queen. I'm just flipping through my journal. Nolana asked to see a flip through, so I'm just kind of flipping through it. This last part is something Crystal actually did. It was just for it was her first birthday. It's like a flip through of her in the same blanket, growing every month. The other pages are all of our Scrappy Sister layouts. So this is going to be like my Scrappy Sister journal, and our album, and it's going to be all about May. I was going to make it all 2021. No, 2022, but I've decided, you know what, it's just going to happen as it goes, because this story that I just did for this one is really, it's about now. So I'm like, you know what, it's just going to be the Scrappy Sister album. And look how cute this is. Her and her, like, we got Dipper, and look at him, he's a little baby. They're both little babies. And look how little they are, because he's a kid and she's a baby. And then, like, you could see them grow up. I love it. And then, of course, it's hard to take pictures of a cat and a baby next to each other. But, but it's awesome. I didn't know where to put these, Crystal. I was like, I'm not going to get rid of these. Like, this is literally the only like printout I have of these. So I'm like, I'm just going to throw this in her journal. I think that's perfect. I actually took a 2-year-old picture in the same blanket. I could not get Dipper back. We could not get Dipper back on the blanket. But we're going to do it every year. We're going to put her on this blanket. She'll be 16. I'll be asking if she can lay down on this blanket. But yeah, so Crystal, her planning is immaculate. And I also bought that same journal because I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like Crystal. And if you can guess, it's not very filled out at all. But I actually, what you just were saying, Crystal, about how you used it for journaling, I actually love that. And I might steal that idea. So I actually currently don't journal my daily stuff because sometimes that makes it harder for me to scrapbook it. Sorry, guys, I'm like on my computer. I want to print some things so I can work on some things. I usually start the year by going in. I have an app called Journey that allows me to add journaling for each day and also allows you like for free to add like 3 pictures. I did subscribe to it for a while and you could add like 10 or more. The problem with that is, so right now in 2021, or was it 2022? I think 2022, I used that a lot. And when I go in there, it's extremely overwhelming, like extremely overwhelming, because I don't write little bits. I write paragraphs and paragraphs. Um, so it's just like I don't even know what to do with. And then I'm a picture person too. I love pictures. Every time a week in the life or project life is hard for me because it's so many pictures. It's just a ton of pictures. And then I have a ton of journaling. So what am I supposed to do? Like how do you fit that all on one? I started using, I gotta go back in here and actually finish some things. I might not have a good example right now though. But like look at this. I gotta fit journaling in here somewhere. there's so many pictures. I even have a flip
cute,
up.
though.
It's a flip up. Yeah, this is Crystal's this is her. I'm obsessed with this on my computer because I like it's so easy. And I haven't gotten into the Canva app that much, Crystal. I'm excited though, because once I do, it's so easy. Like I played with it that one day and I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish like what I'm in the middle of on my computer on Photoshop because I already feel like I'm in a process of that. And then I'll go into the app because I got to figure out how I'm going to save the files, where I'm going to put them. But it's just funny because like I have so many photos, like journaling still has to go in here. I added a middle picture. I added a flip up and I think this will be where all my journaling goes, which is like 4 paragraphs. So it's just crazy. I think I'm gonna add some down here. I do love Crystal. I love your layouts because I can easily add all these pictures. Before, so this is my first ever project life. And like, this is so funny. So I was like, oh, I'll do a small 6x8, which was just, you learn by doing the mistakes. But like so much, like, look at all the, like, this is week 1 of January. Like every day I wrote like paragraphs. And then I have so many pictures. I have to do flip outs everywhere. It's constant. So I love crystals because like before it was all of this plus this. I have one that flips out like 3 times. Yeah. And it was funny, Crystal, because I think I only got to February and like, look at this. I'm like, there's going to be every 3 months. It's going to be a new binder. I did buy a 9. Is that 9x8? Is that what?
9x12?
9x12. That's what I have one of those. I started getting into that, but that was for 2022. That quickly fell off. The amount of pictures I was printing was eating my ink up so bad. So Crystal, using yours has been nice because it's really small. I can fit all my pictures without having 80 flip ups. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So I like that too. Just the reduced number of pictures I have to print. That's nice.
So much. Like I can get them all on one page. I did that recently. I got to figure out what's wrong with my printer right now. It's not printing. Look at this. I got that flip up. That flips out. That flips out. That flips out. Like it's just so much. If my great grandchildren ever look through this, they're going to be really confused on where all the pictures are coming from. But anyway, so when it comes to journaling right now, I actually don't because I find that if I go back, and sometimes I do, like I do go into the Journey app and I'll throw in like one day, I'll throw in like Monday through Friday or, Monday through Sunday. It will say things like Monday, zoo, Tuesday, went outside, like, or little stories in there. Like today, so something recent that I had to write down was Mabel doesn't call us mommy, mama, dada anymore. I wasn't prepared for that
Did she just call
change.
you like mom?
No, it's sorry. She went from mama and dada to mommy and daddy.
Oh,
And it's just a
okay.
weird change. It's something I didn't expect. And I wasn't prepared for it. I was like, all of a sudden she started calling us mommy and we're like, wait a minute, where'd you get that from? But I heard that happens.
Huh.
And then at some point it starts being mom and dad. And then at some point it goes to bra.
Bra.
My 18-year-old niece calls her mom bra. Like,
No.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, there's shirts. They have shirts now that say like
What?
mama, mommy, mom, bra.
What?
Because that's what the teens say these days.
That's so
Um,
weird. That will
isn't that
not be
so
allowed. I am not going to be bra.
bruh?
A
My
bra
almost
is something that you
11-year-old does
wear for
that. Danielle
support.
says. Oh, no, Lana says it's cuz too. That's so funny.
What?
Oh my god, I love it. Oh,
That's so weird. I've not heard of this. Bra. No. Nope. If you call me that, you could sleep outside.
you know what? It matters what they're going through at that point, but they might, they might be fine with that. Go to their
They
friend's
might
house.
take me up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be like, okay, bye.
Fine, mom.
Um,
Oh,
bye,
wait, I'm
bruh.
sorry. Fine, bra.
No, Lana says not in my house, bruh. Um, oh god, you know what? I'm gonna be the parent though. I've decided if my kids do that stuff to me, I'm doing it back, and that will just be so cringy, and they'll hate it.
That's a good idea.
Be like, yo, what's up? Try
Uh,
to use their slang. Like, what is some new slang? I think bra is the only one I know.
would it be worse
Bruh.
to use like new slang or like old slang?
Maybe the old one.
Right?
Maybe like that's groovy, totally. Just like watch them get so mad. Oh, see,
We
Danielle,
watched.
yep. They hate it when you say it back. I knew it.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, see? Exactly. Children, see how I feel?
You just think you're so cool saying it. I'm gonna see if I can get this printed off. I want to kind of work on these next pages, but someone asked about Chris. This is so funny. Crystal, how do you limit your pictures? And like I've watched Crystal
Oh.
on her YouTube videos. And like, you're so quick, Crystal. I love it. She's very like, I'm only gonna save these 5, and I'm over here like, I can delete about 5 of the 50 I've taken in the last hour. Um, it's so bad. I really, Crystal's so good at eliminating and
I don't
prioritizing.
it's weird because like I am not afraid to get rid of things no matter what. Like if it's doesn't matter if it's clothes, scrapbooking supplies, I don't know, pictures. I'm not afraid. Like I don't know. It's funny because just side tangent. I did the organization video for the cart that I have, the art cart.
Yes.
And I
Yep.
like went through all my December daily and I went through, I don't even remember else, one little word, I think, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff. And I had somebody who asked me if I was always that ruthless or if it's just because I got free product. And I was like, no, I've always been like this. I just didn't have as much coming in before. So now I'm still just as ruthless, but the amount is more because I have more, So like, but no, I'm the one who people call when they're like, I need help getting rid of stuff. I'm like, I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
so there for you.
Yeah.
you know. So when it comes to pictures, the first thing that I do when I am trying to pick them, well, I say the first thing that I do after I actually take them is within a night, maybe a couple of nights, a week at most, I will go back through all of my pictures and delete out any of them that have like stupid faces or they're blurry or they're just pictures that I know I'm never going to use. And also, somebody might not like that I own this photo, of them. So those ones are just instant deletes. And then, with the exception, with one one exception. And that is if I am taking pictures, typically of my kids, but sometimes it's other people too. If I'm taking pictures and um, I can't get them to behave the way I want them to, you know? And I might be like, make a silly face, make a serious face, do this kind of face, do that kind of face, you know? And half the time they're looking at me, half the time they're not, whatever. I might keep typically up to 12. I usually cap it at 12 of those photos because I love making collages where it's the same or it's the same like picture but different poses. I love those. So on occasion, I will keep even the bad ones. Um, for that type of layout. But usually I delete everything except for like one or two that I really love from a particular standpoint, whatever. So like if I, for example, if I have a picture of my kids and my father-in-law and I'm just off lurking, taking pictures of them interacting with each other, which I love taking those, then I might keep one or two, depending on how Ray looks in the picture. Then I upload those into my cloud storage and I delete them all off my phone because that's just something that's a habit that I developed a long, long time ago. And it just, I don't know, it's instinctual now that I just upload them and I get rid of them off my phone. And then um, they go into folders. I have them segregated into folders of which week they happened in. So I have like a main folder that's Project Life 2023. And then inside of that, I have week 1 with week 1's dates as a folder. And then week 2 with week 2's dates as, you know, a folder. And so every week has a folder. And then when I upload my pictures, I add them into the week that they belong in. So when I go to do my Project Life, all I have to do is open that folder. I can see all of the pictures that I deemed save worthy in the folder. And I usually, especially with Project Life, I usually pick like one picture from each of the main things that happened. I'll give you an example. So for week 15, which just happened, where's my folder at? Let me open this up and I'll tell you what I got in there. I have yearbook, April 15. Nope, that's 14. 15. Okay, so I have a picture of me at the hair salon getting my hair done. Just one picture. I have a picture of my desk at the coffee shop because I went to the coffee shop that week and I took a picture. I have one picture of my cat sleeping on my desk that I decided to take. One of me holding up a beer at our local pub because Aaron and I went out to dinner. One of some daffodils that finally popped out of the ground and bloomed right before it snowed. So I have that picture. And then I've got one, we did like a play date with one of my friends and her son. Actually, the friend that I'm going to be partnering up, you know, with Edward Jones. So her name's Kate. So not to be confused with Caitlin or, you know, Crystal, but Kate. Like we got a lot of us. So Kate has a son who is a couple years, he's actually a month older than May. So like same age as May. So we get the boys together every other Friday to do a play date. And last week we took the kids to Mario. So it was the second time that Jonah and I had seen it, but the first time for them. So I have one picture from Mario. I have one picture from a random trip to the cookie store because, you know, we got to have those sugar runs. And then I actually have two from when we went to sign up at the library, a new library card. And one of us playing Super Smash Brothers on the TV. So like a lot of random stories is all that they are. And they might not even all make it onto my Project Life spread because I like to have words too. So I usually do about 2/3 to 1/3. So 2/3 photos to 1/3 journaling. And just go from there. So like now when I go to do my Project Life spread, I have 10 photos to choose from and that's it. So it just is like taking these bigger amounts and whittling it down and whittling it down and whittling it down until you get to your most essential. Like, what are the stories that for you are most essential to tell for your week? And the other thing is that I am doing stories, like larger stories, for each week as well. My goal was to do like 1 to 2 each week, and I've been at 2 each week, which means that my albums are super fat. because I don't have any with just one. But I suspect as life gets a little bit busier and I transition and do all these things into this new career, that my stories may go down, but also it's big life changes. So they may not. I don't know. But anyway, I know for myself, hey, if there is more that I want to say about going to the library and getting a library card, if I want to tell a bigger story about that, I can. Um, and I'm okay with just putting a little tiny photo onto my Project Life layout. And that's the nod to the story. And then there's more development about it later. Does that make sense?
You've explained that before, Crystal, and it helped because you have so many albums and you can dive in. And that's something I need to tell myself. You were talking about how you go through all your photos and delete like the blurry ones, the funny faces. And I'm like, I sit there and try to convince myself to delete them. Um, and usually end up being like, well, maybe what if there's something in this photo that I'll miss? It's awful. I actually have a project where I'm going through my Google Photos because that's full, and I have like 3 different emails and they're all full.
Oh no.
It's so bad. I have like Catfila 03, 04, 05. I'm like, okay, I need to just get better. I have gotten better. I could say I don't take like 50 photos of the same thing anymore. I'm better at being like, okay, that's 2. If they both suck, I'm done. Like I just can't. But I right now I'm going through like I think I'm done with February and I'm going through March now, 2021. I'm telling you, there's like over 500 photos. And most of them are the same stupid picture. And so it's me going through, and Crystal, I have so many photos you probably have never seen of you and your children.
Oh
So
my
one day,
gosh.
you will have some really nice new pictures. And I'm just, yeah, I'm the opposite. And I'm not, I need to get, I've gotten a little better. I've gotten a little better. I need to get a lot better. But it does make sense what you're saying. I think the more you document too, like someone mentioned in here, the more you do it and the more you take pictures, the more you kind of know what you need or
Yes.
more that you want. I pay attention now to my days. Like I'll be like, okay, do I want to take a picture of, you know, this? And I'm like, well, actually I already have a picture for today that I like a lot. So I don't really need a picture of that anymore.
Mm.
Um, it's crazy how my mind has changed that because it used to be just take pictures of all the things. Um, and of course, May was born in 2020. That, oh
Yeah.
my God, the amount of pictures and Snapchats that I have that are daily reminders. You know, Google Photos will be like, last year, this time. It's
Yes.
so bad. I don't look at them anymore because it takes way too long. Um, but yeah, so I feel ya. I think there's a lot. I said she went through and purged a bunch and still had 100 photos for Project Life. Yeah, same thing for me. Same thing. And even it hurts me to like select the photos that I do and I miss some. I'm like, oh, I really can't add that little photo. Um, but yeah, I'm getting better. It's like you know, it paralyzes you. Like you need to, I need to overcome it. So I've been working on it.
Hmm.
Um, Danielle, wait until you have 2. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I think about this all the time. I've told this story 1,000 times. My parents had their like photo album of us as kids. And back then, they just had the little Kodaks. Like they didn't have digital. So the amount of photos we have these days is so insane compared to theirs. But they just had like a bucket. It's like that big probably. And like one section was this big. That was the first kid. That was my oldest sister. And of course, the first kid has the most pictures. And then you had like my next sister, her section was like this big. And then me and my twin brother's section together was like this big. Like it was a quarter of the size of my first sister or my oldest sister. So like I'm hoping that that's kind of what happens to our next kid. Also, I have a little goal, and I don't want to commit to it, but Mabel has this 1-year album that's amazing by
Mhm.
Crystal. And I'm like, oh my God, this second child is not going to have anything as beautiful as this. So my goal is to make the same thing and actually copy it for the most part, like literally copy the same questions. I might even do like the same exact layouts. It'll make it easier for me. But I'm like, I really feel like I should, this poor child. It's like, did Tia love me? I'm like, no, you're the first child. That's how it works. It's literally how it works.
You say yes, she did, but there are two babies at the same time.
Yes. Well, and it's not even that. If we end up having like, I don't think we will. I think we'll have two. But if we end up having like 3 kids, the expectations of making that many albums is too high. Like you have to stop somewhere. But I think it would be fun for me to do because, like I said, if I just copy what you did, Crystal,
Yeah.
literally, I think about how much easier that is. Like this Scrappy Sister Scraplift challenge. I think about how much easier. I did not do the guidelines on my prints, guys. I learned that recently that that's a thing. So I recommend doing that so you don't have to measure out where your lines will be. I can't remember what I was saying though. I totally lost that. But yeah, I think it will be something I doable. It'll be something doable.
Yes. I will also say that the amount of pictures and the amount, not really the amount of stories, but I will say the amount of pictures goes down as they get older too. And
Yeah.
maybe it is because when you very first start scrapbooking, there's this inner pull that's telling you like you need to document everything. Like whether it's about a person or your home or like what you're into and all that, like you have to do it all. And then eventually you do it all and and then you're like, well,
And then 3 years
um,
later, it's your project
yeah,
life or your weekend life is still in an album somewhere because you don't have time to print all that.
right?
It's so much. So true though that I've gotten your expectations go down. Like you're
Because
like, you know what? I just got to get this done. Any story is a good story as long as it's told.
right,
I'm
yeah,
sure I've lost lots of stuff because I was intimidated by how much I had. So yeah, the less you have, the easier.
yes, that's huge. I literally went to the so on Tuesdays I go to the coffee shop and I have been doing the just right prompts. It's like starting at the beginning. So today, my word that I was journaling on was abundance. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, abundance, abundance. Like, what the heck can I write about abundance? Um, and so I ended up writing about how having an abundance of stuff can actually be detrimental.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you definitely can't ever have enough of. Like an abundance is a good thing, an abundance of love, an abundance of support, um, an abundance of hope. Like those will never, that it's never a bad thing to have that
Aw.
in abundance. But to have an abundance of things is not, it's detrimental. It is for me anyway. And that's something that I have learned. Like I have, and I talked about, I have an abundance of craft products.
Yeah.
And instead of feeling really inspired by the things that I have, the opposite happens. And you're just like, oh, there's just, I don't even know where to focus.
It's
Yeah, so I'm
overwhelming.
just not going
Yeah.
to do anything.
That's
Uh,
literally it too. Or it takes you hours to go through all of your things to find out what you can use. I think
yeah.
that's one of your keys to success, Crystal. You are one of the people I know that more than you're so good at eliminating unnecessary clutter. And I feel like you're also very quick, and I'm sure that goes hand in hand.
Yeah. I mean, and I think sometimes too, when you are trying to eliminate, when you are trying to reduce down, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like there's a good part of being quick about making those decisions, and that's that like you are most likely going to get rid of more than than you would if you
And let
sat and
me
thought
take a
about
second.
it.
Yeah.
But there's also the opposite side of that of like there might be instances where I get rid of something and then I'm like, I wish I didn't get rid of that. Like I'll give you an example. I decided to apparently get rid of my citrus squeezer, like the thing that you can use to make orange juice out of oranges. And the other day I decided I wanted to make orange juice out of oranges. Like they were on sale and I was gonna do it. And I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, well darn.
You probably
Oh, I got rid of that. Whoops. Oh well, I have a lemon squeezer and I just like quartered it instead and threw it in that and it worked fine. But it was one of those times that I was like, well, you know, sometimes.
I swear my problem is when I finally get rid of some things like a shirt or like you said, like a lemon squeezer, I swear the next 2 weeks I'm like, I need that. See, this is why I don't throw things away. It's like I can like tell myself after that like, oh, that was a mistake to get rid of that one. It's so bad.
This is why you shouldn't get rid of things. Yeah. I actually, speaking of getting rid of things, I've had it on my list of like things I've wanted to do since probably January. Was to go through my closet and get rid of a bunch of stuff because it was out of hand. I finally did that over the weekend. When was that? I did that on Friday, and then I dropped off all my stuff today at Goodwill, and that felt great. It felt so good.
Oh, I bet that felt awesome. Something kind of funny. May's over here. Sorry.
You're
May
good.
has completely interrupted this.
You're
but
good.
That's fine.
It's 8:00. Do you need to go?
No, I'm good. She's gonna be taking over now.
Hi, May.
Say hi.
Hi.
You see your Tia?
Hi.
You saying hi to Tia?
Hi.
You see my hands? Hi.
Hi. Look. Let me show you what everybody sees. There's you. And there's Tia. That's her hand. Tia hand, yeah. Are you gonna be a big sister?
Yeah.
So casual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you see candy on mommy's desk. Okay. Here you go.
So something too that I was going to bring up earlier that I'm like, I want to talk about something, but I forgot. So I remembered. Last year for Week in the Life, I downloaded the 1 Second a Day app, which is a video app. So basically what it does is it allows you to upload 1 second of video every day of the year. And then it can compile it into like a specific range of dates, or you can do a whole month, or you can do a whole year, like whatever you want. And you can watch it through and see like 1 second clips of your life. So in the summertime last year, I subscribed to the app, which allowed me to do more than 1 second, which was the big thing. And I could do more than one clip a day. And then in the fall, I was like, I'm going to unsubscribe from that because we're trying to like save money and, all this kind of stuff. So I unsubscribed from it. And just recently, I've been uploading 1 second for the last couple of months, like I would say since the end of January. And while I still love that I can see the 1 second, I miss the longer videos. Anyway, I was sitting with Jonah in bed, not last night, the night before.
Oh, thank you.
And while I was laying with him, I was uploading my 1 second, and he was like, I want to see the video. So we watched the video of the month so far. And he's like, I want to watch more. And it was, cute. So then I'm like, oh, well, let's watch all of last year, all the videos that I have from 2022. And the whole time he's just like, I miss that park.
Aww.
I miss that. I don't know, whatever else. I miss that candy. I miss that. I want to go there again. Like the whole time. I was like, so
super
cute.
nostalgic.
So nostalgic. So then he's like, I want to watch another one. And the only other one I had was like a memorial video that I did for Dibs. And I was like, well, we can watch the one about Dibs if you want. And he's like, yeah, I want to watch that. We watched that. He bawled his eyes out. He cried his eyes out. I was like, oh my gosh. Like to the point where he's like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm like, no, don't be sorry. It's fine. I miss him too.
It's cute because he's the one that when he died, didn't he just like the way he brought it up was super casual. Like he's a kid, so he doesn't understand. But I remember it being like, he didn't really cry, or did he cry?
No.
You could tell he's a kid. Like he
he's really emotional kid.
Aw.
Like he also cried his eyes out when we drove away from the Kia for the last time. That was my car.
Aw.
Like, and he still tells me all the time that he misses the car, which of course I miss it too. It was my car.
Yeah.
But I will say that sitting down and watching those videos with him, I was like, I want to resubscribe to it again. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool to see the videos and to have like these clips of them. It's just so cool. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to resubscribe to it and
I think
then
I need to, because
see
the
some more
idea
of
of that
them.
is so cute. I've seen when you've done it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like I mean, we have lots of pictures, right? Scrapbooking.
Mhm.
But it's a little bit different when you can capture the video, the sounds.
Yes.
Um,
I have this clip of Izzy. We were downtown and there's this huge like boulder rock and she climbed up to the top and then she slid down it like a slide and just kind of landed funny and turned at me and did the most like unguarded giggle
oh,
I've ever heard out of her. Like it was like the cutest thing and I have it captured and it's in there and it's one of those that like she giggles and you just can't help but laugh. Like it's so cute. I just love it. I don't know.
Alex has something like that of May. The live pictures, you can do that on Android too. It's a little different. I think it's
Yes.
like you just turn the motion on or something. He has her like doing the cheesiest face. And like he had it on his back for his like screensaver on his phone for the longest time. And you just do this, look. And then you stick the picture on. She's over here crafting. There's a picture of her and Joda, and she was like, Jojo me. Jojo me. You love your Jojo, huh?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Margaret. Have a great night.
Bye. Have a good night.
If you guys gotta go, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm just fussy cutting.
Get out of here.
Fussy cutting and chatting. You guys go enjoy your time.
Just hanging out. We're chat. It's funny. Crystal and I are, also friends, so we're just hanging out, chit chat. And you guys, friends too. It's just a bunch of chit chat.
Yeah. It's funny because like we so Kayla and I don't live that far away from each other. We're probably like what 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
But a lot of times when we get onto these, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yes.
So we're always like, especially like, tell me everything.
Yes, it's so funny. That happens with book club too. Like I won't see you for like 3 weeks. And we'll get on book club and you'll be sharing stories. I'm like, what? I used to be able to catch the Monday call like all the time, and now I can't. Literally yesterday, I always start to lay down with May around 12:30, and it's been a little rough. So we sometimes just don't nap. But I gave up on it the other day and I got on, and it was nice because I didn't realize those calls went over so often now.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
And it's nice because then I can join it.
I'm like, that's only for like one more week. And then I'm going to have to be like, we're cut off, people.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Go back to work.
Hopefully her naps are better by then. But I won't hear from you. And Monday is awesome because I feel like I get so many updates on everybody. I learned about Sarah too. Sarah's another one of our friends, and Haley. Like Monday or yesterday, I got to hear everything about Haley and the baby. Like, and it's so funny because it's like sometimes this is it. This is all we see of each other. So
true, because we're bad. We're all bad at like, calling for real.
Yeah. Here, honey. We can
actually called my mom last night. You guys don't know this about me, but I am phone averse. I have like
me too.
I have like PTSD.
I think it's a generational thing because I'm definitely not.
It's gotta
like,
be. I don't know what it is.
Don't call me.
I also before like straight out of college, I got a job working at a athletic facility, and I was the department head for a pool, for an aquatics section or an aquatics department. And it was the biggest one in the state. So I had 60 employees who worked under me. And I would have been the oldest at 20. How old was I? I was like 24, 25. And I would have been one of the oldest people working in that department as the top manager with 60 teenagers under me. It was a nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
It was an
Oh my
absolute nightmare.
gosh.
And not to mention that the aquatics department was a 24-hour facility that required a lifeguard for all 24 hours. So if a lifeguard called at 10 o'clock at night and said, I can't come in because I am sick, that meant that I would go in at 10 o'clock at night and I would work until 6 o'clock in the morning. It was an absolute
I
nightmare.
remember that. This
It's
is
the
a nightmare.
So in the meantime, I'm like 20. I think I started when I was 23 and I quit that job when I was 25. So I did it for a couple years and I grew it. I mean, I grew that. That's the worst part is I grew it like, I want to say it was like 130%. So like, 30% more business than we did the year before that. And then the second year I grew it an additional 30%. And then I had tapped out the market. So they're like, well, why are you not growing? And I'm like, because there's no one else to come in here. Like there is always someone else, but also you're not going to get another additional 30% growth 3 years in a row. That's just not going to happen. So, that's part of why I quit is because they kept, disciplining me for not growing enough. I was profitable, but I wasn't profitable to the numbers that they wanted. And it was just like, no, I'm out. So anyway, while I was there in this managerial position, I would get angry phone calls from people a lot. And I'm already under a ton of stress. And I think I just, from that experience, have some PTSD when it comes to phones. And so I'm really bad at calling people on the phones. That's something I'm going to have to work on in this new position.
I didn't even think about that.
This is going to be my my revival of, being okay on being on the phone, which is crazy because I'm here like publicly in front of people all the time and publicly online in front of people and, on display. So you would think that like I would be averse to that, but I don't know. For me, that's easier than it is to call someone.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But I don't know. So I'm really bad at calling people, including people that I love very much, like my mom. So I rely on the Wednesdays when I drop my kids off to her for me to catch up with her. And I'm usually there for like 4 hours in the morning. Like it's like she takes my kids so I can have time to work. And then I usually just end up staying and talking for half the day with her, which is good. It's good to catch up with. So, with a bunch of like life stuff going on the past week, I was like, I should just call her and catch her up on everything because, like I've told my sister, Haley, because we had book club. So she's a little bit more updated on things. And then my sister had seen her and she's like, yeah, I kind of told mom about some of the things. I'm like, oh, this is bad. I should call her.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You know what's funny, Crystal? I assume, too, that you've talked to your mom or your sister, especially Haley. So sometimes when we're on here and you're, like, catching Haley up, I'm like, okay. So I'm not the only one that doesn't call anybody, like, at all. Because I don't talk to my siblings unless we, like, randomly hang out.
Sarah says, in the words of Tim Drake, only old people call. So maybe it is just like generational thing that we're all we hate the phone.
Yes.
Which is so silly.
It is, but it is. It's like it feels unnecessary now. It's like, it feels like a version of knocking on someone's door. Like, I don't know why I should have that anxiety, but I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I don't know. I think I just don't want people to be mean to me.
Yeah, you know what? It's so weird, but even calling doctor's offices, I have this huge fear of like, I'm calling a doctor and they go, what? You're calling? That's not what this is. Are you stupid? Like, and I'm like, why do I think that these people are going to be so mean and so rude? And like, that's not going to happen. And every once in a while, phone calls go really bad.
They do. And then you're like, see, this is why I don't call people.
This is why I don't call. I had one place tell me you need to call this other number and tell them to do this. So I did. And they're like, that's not our job. You need to call them back and tell them we're not supposed to do that. And it was like between doctors. And so I had to do this back. And I was like, this is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. I'm calling and they're telling me I'm crazy. I shouldn't be calling them. And my other doctor's telling me that, yes, that's how it works. And it was a nightmare. I'm going to need some more tape after this. Mabel has been doing this video for me, and she has learned about dot liner tape. Roller tape, yes.
Wow. Good job, Bae.
But are you doing a page of you and JoJo?
That's so cute.
She's making a page of her and JoJo. And there's Izzy. Is that Izzy? Who is that?
Do you print pictures for her to use?
She usually gets my scraps. Right now, she's actually using pictures I wanted, but I'll just reprint them. Who's that?
Sometimes I do that. Like if I'll accidentally print something in the wrong size or whatever, and I'm like, here, this is for you.
Yep, that's
or sometimes Izzy will be like, I took a picture of my baby giraffe. Can you print it for me? And I'm like, all right.
It's so cute. That is. Okay. I hope May does that one day. Oh.
Or her other thing that she does is she'll look through my scrapbooks that I made and she'll be like, can you print this picture for me too? And I'm like, well, this is for you.
Like, this is yours.
Okay. Yes, I'll do another one so you can pin it to your board or whatever.
That's so cute. I saw her board recently. It's adorable. And I love how she has all of her little things on there. Her room is so freaking cute. Like,
I'm obsessed.
You did such a great job at making it a beautiful room that's still for a child. Like, I think about, like, my bedroom as a kid, and it was just like a mashup of things that I liked, just collected over the time. And it definitely did not look put together. And then, like, you have Izzy's room that looks like it could be a hotel resort. But it still has, like, elements of her, like the Pokemon pictures and she selected the theme of bugs, and it's just crazy how you turned that in such a beautiful aesthetic look.
I was like, this is the bedroom that I kind of want, but like I can't.
Me too.
Me do flowers and bugs in my room with Aaron. So
I remember when you had said she had picked bugs, and you're like, what am I gonna do?
I do remember that. She's like, I want bugs. And I'm like,
and you hated the color on the wall, and she's like, I like it.
And then it grew on us. We're like, it somehow miraculously goes very well with, the only bug bedding I could find. Who knew?
It's so pretty, yes. And like you did so good with that, like with your limited. It's not like you took anything away from her and was like, no, we're not doing bugs, we're not keeping this color. You went with all of it and made it beautiful. But I do remember the beginning you being like, oh, I hate this color. And I'm like, where am I going to find bug stuff? And it all worked out so well. Like, it's literally, even just those two things give the room such character.
It makes me like less, what do I say? Less like hard-headed about it, I guess. Because I get stuck in my ways of like,
oh, me too. Yeah, we all do.
And I usually get buy-in from everybody. Like even with Aaron, I usually get buy-in from him too. Every once in a while I don't. And I'm like, what do you mean my idea's not great?
Yes. No, that's, and I mean, me and Alex were talking about it the other day. What did I say? I just mentioned, I was like, what do you think the house would look like if Crystal didn't live there? Oh. Dipper's really trying to be on this live too.
He's like, it would look like how they bought it.
And it's funny because I'm just like, yeah, like that's the decoration and stuff is all Crystal. Like it really is certain people that take over that and just it has to be their way.
You know what's funny is I told him I I want to paint my bedroom walls again, but I want to do something a bit darker because our
Ooh,
room is huge.
it is.
And I want to like redo it, give it a little bit more of a like mid-century meets kind of like darkish academia meets, you know, like, so it's like got wood tones and it's got some of the
Yeah.
more century feel and dark colors because I'm like, I want it to be cozy. I want to go in there and be like, this is so cozy. And also I want to make myself a reading corner in my
Oh, I
room.
love that.
Which is, you know, I have lots of plans because I also want to like build in bookcase. I got lots of plans. So he's like, I can't believe you're gonna make us paint the walls all over again. I said, what? Us?
Are you volunteering right now?
Like, are you
Because
saying that you're gonna? I'm like, because I
here, can
literally
you put your
painted
stuff
my
back, honey?
entire house. Like he helped with a hallway. You know, I think he did a
Yeah.
hallway. I did all the rest. So I was like, what do you mean us? Like, let's be real. Who's going to be painting these walls?
Yeah.
Me.
Who painted
And
all the other
I'm the
ones?
one who wants it. So then it's going to
Yes.
happen. You know, like,
Yep. Yep.
I'm like,
All
stop
right.
complaining.
Stop complaining. I'm doing everything. You're welcome for your beautiful house. I'm definitely gonna have to take a picture of May's layout and post it onto the Facebook page.
Please.
This is May's. This is Millie. Millie's so funny. She says May's so cute. She's gone through a bunch of different layout configurations. She really has. She just keeps re-sticking the same pictures on. But yeah, I'll have to take pictures of this and post it up with her sister scrapbook challenge. It's kind of a week worth of pictures, so
That's true.
I like your heart collage, honey.
One of the things that we've been talking about, and by we, I mean Caitlin and I and Sarah and Haley, is on Thursday nights. So starting in May, all of the events will move to Thursday nights, except for this one, but all the other ones will. And we talked about if the events are from like, you know, 7 to 9, 7 to 8, 7 to 9, you know, that sort of time frame, about doing like an open Zoom, like after Zoom kind of, and then whoever wants to come and hang out over Zoom afterwards can. Mostly out of the desire for just because like we get chatty and we like to just hang out.
Oh yeah, that's what it's really for.
So it's really for a desire to just like chat and hang out. But we were like, we could do that, and then we could open it up to Patreon. So like it could be all of us, you know, whoever wants to come. But we've been thinking about that. The only caveat for me is I will have to be done by 10. But I can leave it open for however long. I just won't be there past it because I'm gonna have to go to bed in order to wake up at like 5. So
That's insane, Crystal. I keep forgetting that's how early you're gonna be waking up, and it's.
I know. But you know
I'm
what's
so
also
sorry.
crazy is Aaron talked to his boss today about changing his schedule because the way we want to do it is have Aaron drop the kids off to school in the morning and I will already be at work. Like he'll be waking them up at the same time I will already be working. And
Yeah.
then I will be able to end my day at 3 so I can pick them up and come back home. We do school of choice, and what that means is that we don't actually live in the district that our kids go to school in, and we actually don't even live in the same county that our kids go to school in. Here in our state, you can apply for school of choice, and as long as you can provide transportation to and from your home, then they can go to a school in a different district. So the school that we have the kids going to is the school system in the town that we used to live in, which is literally 5 minutes down the road. So it's not like we are driving super far. It just means that we don't have the ability for them to take a bus home. So we have to provide transportation and it makes things a little tricky. Anyway, so he talked to his boss today and his boss was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that approved. I'll try because they have to take it up the chain. So he's like, we'll try to get it approved, but I can't make any promises. And so we're like, oh no, like if they can't do it, then what are we going to do? Because like we're going to have to figure it out. So the ideal schedule would be for me to work 7 to 3 and him to work 8:30 to 5:30. But it might be the opposite. Like I might have to go later and work later. I don't know. So we gotta figure it out. I wish it was just easy. I wish I just knew the answer.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I'm sure until it starts happening, you guys are going to get the flow of it and figure some different, like it's probably going to change a little bit no matter what.
Yes. The thing is too, like then I could say like, well, actually, then now I don't have to wake up that early. But the problem is that the like picking the kids up from school and coming home early allows me to do my chores that I would normally do in the morning in the evening. So I would still have to wake up early in order to get that stuff done.
That's true.
So it just changes when I have to do things. I don't know. I like my plan better. So I'm hoping his boss
Yeah.
is like, yes. And then also Kate, who I'll be working with, she's like, I don't even get there until 10. So you'll have the office to yourself and it'll be super quiet for like 3 hours. And I'm like, yes. Yes. That is so my dream. I love a quiet start,
Yes.
So
I was going to say, that sounds so nice to be in an office by yourself. That was always my favorite at work. Even though it wasn't even an office, I just felt like I could do the most stuff. Somebody asked a little bit, like, so Crystal, yep, Brenda wants to know, what's your new job?
Oh yeah. So I am partnering with a longtime friend of mine at her Edward Jones firm. So she is the financial advisor. So she's the one who like goes and will meet with the customer, or the clients will come and they'll meet with her. And I am going to be her branch office administrator, which is kind of like, to my knowledge, because I think the scope of the job is maybe even bigger than what I'm aware of. But it's essentially like I am her office manager. Like I'm going to hold down the fort. I'm going to do all the paperwork, so the organizational stuff. I'm the one who's going to be calling and making, scheduling and following up with people in that way. So that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things where like she and I can work together to build our branch as big as we want it to go. And then we'll be able to work it together until we retire. Like it's definitely
Awesome.
a career move. I'll be able to eventually, like once I am actually good at what I do, because it'll take some time for me to get there. But once I'm actually good at it and I have a handle on it, I can also be a training location. So I can train people who take the same job eventually. And I'm like, I would love that. I love teaching people. So
yeah, that would be so good for you.
I'm like, yes to this. Yes. If I want to, like, let's say in a couple years, I'm like, I kind of want more. I want a bigger challenge than I've got now. I can go through some of the same certifications that she did. I still wouldn't be the financial advisor of our location, but I can learn some of that stuff and be certified in some of that stuff. So then I can be a bigger help with it, and like would be able to meet with clients as well. So there's even room for growth there. I think it'll be a really good move for me. It lines up with a lot of my own personal passions, like personal finance I love, and organization and structure and client relationships. Like I love all that kind of stuff. So I think it aligns really well with that. But there will be a learning curve. That is for sure.
Sometimes that makes things more interesting though, doing the same thing. What? Oh, where did that come from? Honey, we gotta go night.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, but Crystal, I do think when you talked about the planning and the organization and that, I'm like, wow, that sounds great. Like that sounds like perfect, and it sounds like Katie. Like I think she's gonna love having you, because
It'll
you
be
are like, that's such a strong part of who you are, and I don't know, I think it's gonna go really well.
It's funny because I tell people all the time that we are very much alike. Kate and I, like we have a lot in common. We have a lot of the same philosophies. We have a lot of the same like ways of thinking about things, or like priorities. We have a lot of the same priorities, and I think that's really good to have in somebody that you are partnering with. But I tell people that she is the extroverted version of me, and I am the introverted version of her. like we're very, very similar, but she's like way more outgoing and like way like I'm a people person, but not like her, you know.
That's such a funny mashup too of like you guys being the same, but that's like the perfect difference.
Right. So that's why I'm like, this is great. Yes, you go out, get us new people and like sell because you're good at that. And I will be back here and I will foster the relationships and I will hold them for it. Sounds great.
I love it.
Yes. Look at this. I got all these frames cut out.
Good job. I'm just kind of over here. May's kind of going through the room, so you might hear some clanging and banging. But I'm over here. I think I'm going to start working on my project life. She did a little layout. Crystal, this is so funny. I don't know if you've had time to look.
No, I haven't.
Let me show you. Like Millie said, she's done like different configurations. Here's her little layout.
Hold on, it's gonna take a minute with the delay.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if I could see it up here. Oh, I can see it on my phone. Oh, that's cute.
And look what she did. I just noticed this. This is actually a separate page.
It flips out.
Creative, honey. All right, thank you. She said thank you. All right, we gotta go night. Do you want to say bye-bye to everybody?
Bye-bye.
All right. Here.
Yep, I know. I gotta get.
So right here for a second. Let's move this.
I should probably head out of here too. Hey, put your before you pack up and before we say goodbye. I want to see your layout because I didn't actually see the finished thing. I want to see it. I'll put mine up.
Just a second.
And for anybody who wants to do the same, who wants to Scraplift the same layout as us, we do have a folder in our Facebook group where you can share the photos and they just collect over time of all the different ways we all take inspiration from the layouts. I do have the original already in there and I'll take pictures of mine probably at some point tomorrow and get them loaded in there by the end of this week, I'll say. But again, and also, don't feel pressure to share if you don't want to. It's totally fine.
It'll be hard to compare yourself to me. I think I'm gonna upload Mabel's.
Oh, yours turned out so cute. I really love the way you did those words on that picture. That is so
It's so funny, Crystal, because I feel like I could have made this all digital and I would have been very happy. But I was like, okay. My problem is I have ideas and I want to just do that versus having things and then making things with them, you know? Well, there's this guy.
Yeah.
So cute. I really like it.
Thank you. I really like yours. I love the amount of journaling you fit in there. That was one thing that was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Was, I was like, well, I guess I'm only doing like a few words each. And tip her to get down. Yeah, so I feel like you found a way to do it where you added all the journaling, and that's kind of what I wanted to do originally. I was like, maybe I could do flip outs. But I was like, you know what? I need to limit myself. I need to limit myself.
That's so funny. I'm turning mine around too so I can say goodbye in person. Except sometimes this mount that I have is dumb. Nope. Okay, it's not gonna work. Well, here we are.
Crystal. It's got the fan here. This is what the office looks like.
Yep. So
all right.
All right, friends. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. This was fun. It's always, I don't know what's my favorite is doing like lives. Oh, look, I'm so shiny. Anyway, I just saw my face. I look like I'm just sweat bullets, but no, it's just.
You look like tan. I was gonna say that. Have you been tanning? Because like I'm usually like an olive darker shade, but I feel like I look super white, and you look like you've been to a beach.
No, I've makeup on though.
Oh,
That could
maybe that does it.
That could be it. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Tia?
I'll see you. When are we together next? Oh, book club. We'll see whoever can make it to book club on Thursday. We'll see you there. Excited to talk about this crazy book.
Is it going to happen because your sister, Haley, giving birth?
So Haley is thinking she will likely get induced Thursday, but I'm wondering if she's going to be induced at night.
Oh, okay.
That's usually when they do it, and then you have your baby the next day.
That makes sense.
So
okay.
If that's the case, we will still have book club tomorrow, is my plan.
Okay. I do want to talk about this book really bad.
I do too.
This book was so like, oh.
I do too. I can't wait. Anyway.
Oh,
so yes,
thank you, Lily.
We'll see you all Thursday.
All right, bye. Say bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Caitlin. Bye, May. I'm going to end this. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.